Tonight we're following a crisis in the classroom. Northmont City School District's $5.5 million emergency levy did not pass last night. Now the district says anything is on the chopping block.
In fact, the district tried passing a levy back in May. When that failed, it resulted in one of their elementary schools closing. Lydia Bice explains after speaking with district leaders if this could happen again.
Both Northmont Superintendent Tony Thomas and Board of Education President Linda Bloom told me that they don't foresee another building in this school district having to close because then there just isn't another building to place students in. However, district officials and the Board of Education will be looking at a vast variety of things for potential cuts.
We're going to have to take a look at each and every program, each and every service that we provide for our students. Class sizes, transportation, everything is on the table.
One Northmont mom that we spoke to is actually a teacher in another school district and expressed frustration with her fellow Inglewood residents about their lack of support for the Northmont City School District.
I'm disappointed. I think it's important to invest in the communities, and that starts with the schools.
Now, there is no word yet on exactly what will be cut, but Linda Bloom said that they will be taking a look at programs, class sizes, transportation, and more. As soon as we find out what will be cut here in this Northmont City School District, we will of course update you here on air and online at Dayton247now.com. Back to you.
Lydia, thank you. Well, Northmont isn't the only district trying to figure out what to do next after having a levy fail. Centerville is in the same position tonight. The district had a combined $5.4 million operating and $5 million permanent improvement levy on the ballot. You can see voters, though, decided against the measure 57 to 43%. Now, district leaders say that they need to look to the future as expenses continue to outpace revenue. And a statement posted to the district's website, Superintendent John Wesney says, quote, the additional need for funding will not go away because of the way school districts are funded in Ohio. We rely on getting the majority of our funding from local taxpayers. We appreciate all of the volunteers who worked so hard to share that information with our community. And Centerville leaders will start discussing next steps, which would include trying to put another levy on the ballot. They'll also discuss potential cuts for the 2024 and 2025 school year.
Now, Ohioans decisively voting in to pass major issues last night. Issue 1 and 2 both passed overwhelmingly last night. Latest numbers on issue 1, you can see it passed by several 100,000 votes. The measure enshrines abortion and other reproductive decisions into the state's constitution. Today, political leaders in the nation's capital reacting to what happened.
I think voters have been clear, regardless of whether they're in a so-called red or blue state, that one does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree the government should not be telling a woman what to do with her body.
A debate that we're having across the country to try to find that spot where people feel comfortable. This is one I think that does go too far. We'll have to continue this debate. It'll happen across the country, and I think it'll continue in Ohio.
Now, Democratic-leaning counties voted overwhelmingly in favor of issue 1, but it also got some surprising support from Republican-dominated areas too. Luke Jones with what this could tell us about how the 2024 election shapes up.
The county's holding all of Ohio's major cities all in for issue 1, but some Republican-leaning suburban counties also voted in favor. Take Butler County. Yes votes outnumbering no votes by about 1,400. Issue 1 did fail to win a majority in both Warren and Claremont counties, but look here, the margin was close. 52 to 48% in Claremont County, and in Warren County, 53 to 48. Now, Ohio's Democratic Party chair says these results were actually pretty predictable.
These wins aren't a surprise for us because we've been working hard to build those relationships with voters at the grassroots level in those counties all over Ohio.
A poll released last month by Baldwin Wallace University showed 39% of Republicans planning to vote for issue 1 and 37% of evangelicals. Ohio Republicans are cautioning just because issue 1 passed doesn't mean their candidates will fail in 2024.
Donald Trump won this state twice. Mike DeWine won this state twice. And I anticipate Republicans winning this state again in 2024.
Democrats concede issue 1 perhaps isn't the best indicator of how things will turn out next year.
What we know about these fights is that issue work and candidate work isn't apples to apples. But what it does do for voters, again, is clarify their choices.
And that was Luke Jones reporting. Meanwhile, we are hearing reaction after issue 2 passed as well. You can see that for and against numbers are similar to issue 1. So here's a breakdown of what's going to happen next. That law will go in effect in the next 30 days, where the government will treat cannabis similarly to alcohol. It'll be for adults over the age of 21. In the state, adults will be able to possess up to 2.5 ounces of marijuana, and up to 6 plants can be grown individually or up to 12 in a household. Medical marijuana cultivators in the state say they're looking forward to producing for medicinal use.
We were super excited. We're all optimistic, with this year, with the recreational side of things, but to see the turnout and then to see overwhelming votes was not only very exciting, but also, I think, the right move for the state of Ohio.
A study from Ohio State University shows recreational marijuana could bring in between 276 and $400 million in tax revenue by 2028. And now you can see our complete coverage of these races at Dayton247now.com.
Well, the weather sure doesn't feel like almost the middle of November, but here we are, 70 right now.
Yeah, these aren't our high temperatures today. This is what it's out at right now. Feeling very pleasant, 72 in Dayton. We got into the upper 70s today. Notice northern counties a little cooler, and then eventually we will see colder air settle in as a cold front swings its way through. So 68 Wapakoneta, 70 in Greenville, all of us sitting a whole lot warmer compared to where we were this time yesterday. 26 degrees warmer in Dayton, 24 degrees warmer up in Wapakoneta. But as a cold front swings through, our temperatures will eventually fall. Not really until early tomorrow morning we'll start to notice those temperatures drop. And also, as this cold front makes its way in, we'll see a few showers around. Those should be out of the area by morning, with clouds lingering. Mid-50s for the morning for kids out at the bus stop. And then by the afternoon, we'll be looking at highs back into the upper 50s, which will be slightly still above normal for this time of the year. But coming up, I'll let you know how much cooler we'll get by this upcoming weekend.
Police continue their search tonight for the person who caused a massive scare at Alter High School this morning. Classes were canceled after someone called in and said students were shot. But it turned out to be a fake 911 call. Jenna Lee Bork explains what parents were feeling when they picked up their kids.
A scary scene here at Alter High School as police worked to clear out the school. What ended up being a fake 911 call came in at 8:43 this morning, saying shots had been fired. It turned out that this call was just one in a series of many fake calls about school shootings throughout Kentucky, Indiana, and right here in Ohio. Even with harsher penalties, the question is it enough to stop these hoaxes?
Even though no one was physically hurt, many are emotionally impacted when these prank calls come in.
I feel like my adrenaline shift and I feel a little shaky, but I'm so thankful everybody's safe, but it's still, very scary.
Ohio lawmakers have taken steps to create harsher consequences. House Bill 462 was signed by the governor in January of this year and took effect in April to make swatting a felony.
Still, the question, can more be done? There were 2 false active shooter reports in September that brought police out. One was at Troy High School when a substitute teacher accidentally triggered the alarm. Another at Wright State University when a student claimed to have a gun but didn't. So far, there has not been a solution to this problem. Back to you.
More information now released after the fire that happened in a Beaver Creek Walmart earlier this week. The Beaver Creek Police Department revealed they have charged a 15-year-old boy in connection. Now, even though the initial report says there were 2 suspects, police say evidence show that teen acted alone. He's now facing aggravated arson, vandalism, and
for having hundreds of photos and
found. And Foundation, though, says exposure like this is key to locating these women and encourages someone, if they know something, to say something.
And what did McCowan's sister tell you about this particular billboard?
Looking at her sister's picture on that billboard just makes her smile and brings her a sense of hope that she's going to see her again, even though she's been gone for over 20 years.
Somebody may be sitting at the traffic light and they may remember something. It's been 22 years, but I still have hope. I'm not going nowhere. I'm still in this fight until I can't fight anymore.
Now, Luster says the foundation can't do its work without the community's support. This coming Saturday, the foundation is going to be holding a candlelight vigil at 2:30 at Sinclair Park. It's in honor of Chapman's birthday, as well as the many others still missing or murdered in Ohio. Back to you.
In just a matter of minutes, the actors' strike could be ending. Ahead, what we're learning about the agreement between the union and major Hollywood studios.
Also, growing food and growing excitement. Up next, how a major donation to a local nonprofit is going to change the lives of hundreds in the Dayton area.
And a cold front is making its way in, bringing our temperatures back to what we typically would see for this time of the year. That's coming up. Here's a live look from our Eco Plumber Skycam. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Access to fresh produce can be a big challenge for many, so a local nonprofit has been working to fill those gaps. And it does it by also teaching lifetime skills. And recently, their mission got a big boost to help many others in the future. Take a look.
How are you guys all doing today? You guys are looking so awesome.
If you've ever wanted to witness unbridled joy, just take a tour
Here's my basil. Oh my gosh, you're getting so big.
of Don Lochner's East Dayton Garden.
First of all, it is so amazing that the opportunity is even here.
An opportunity to grow and learn, spearheaded by the Mission of Mary Cooperative.
In Dayton, a lot of industries left, and there's a lot of vacant land, and with food inflation, food's very important, making sure it's accessible to the community.
So co-founder Michael Schulz embraced the idea of food accessibility, education, and pride in growing new skills. Just ask Lochner.
Every year I get more and more excited about the gardens because every year I learn more and more and more. So this is my happy place.
A happy place, Schulz says, is shared right now by over 100 families in the Twin Towers neighborhood to grow their own food. All thanks to resources provided by Mission of Mary, and soon, many more will too.
It was a planned estate gift, but she never said how much. It's pretty much just a miracle dream at first when I personally heard it.
Teresa Steinbrugge, a University of Dayton alum and supporter of Mission of Mary, left it $424,000.
It means 100+ more families will be able to grow their own food, and that, if you think of a family, 3 to 4 people in a household, that'll impact 500+ people just learning how to grow their own food over the next coming years.
Not having access to fresh produce can make you physically feel bad. It can mentally make you feel bad.
Lochner is low income and diabetic. She says since she started growing here 5 years ago, this program has been a lifesaver.
So for me to be able to have fresh produce for myself, my family, there's not even a price tag value on it. Oh my gosh, carrots soon. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Which is why on any given day, you'll find unbridled joy continuing to grow here.
I literally could not love it more, I don't think.
Well, if you'd like to learn more about Mission of Mary Cooperative, use their services, or volunteer, we'll put a link in the web version of this story. That's at Dayton247now.com.
Well, we have a cold front making its way in, so we got to say goodbye to that warm weather we had today. Showers are going to be pushing through as our cold front moves in as well. Not a lot of rain, but you can see it back off in Fort Wayne right now. We got a few showers that will continue to progress their way in as we look overnight. This is about 2 a.m. You can see showers isolated to scattered about the area with that front, and then that all clears out by sunrise tomorrow, and we'll start out cloudy and cooler back into the lower 50s early tomorrow morning. But we climb into the upper 50s tomorrow afternoon. Clouds begin to build in, starting out cloudy for our day on Friday, starting out in the 40s and then back into the 50s again by our Friday afternoon. Could see even some upper 50s during the day on Friday as well. So it does get cooler, even cooler for the weekend. I'll have more on that coming up.
Tonight, we're following developing news out of Hollywood. Actors have now reached a tentative agreement with major film and television studios to end a strike. The agreement sets the stage for around 160,000 actors who are represented by the union to return to work. The terms of the deal have not been released yet, and at this time, the studios have not publicly acknowledged the resolution. However, this could mean the 118-day strike could end as early as midnight tonight. President Biden will be heading to Belvidere, Illinois tomorrow to meet with the head of the United Auto Workers Union. The meeting will highlight the tentative contract agreements that ended a week-long strike targeting General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis. President Biden was vocal in his support for union workers, even joining the picket line in Michigan in late September. The White House is backing the president's stance tonight.
This was collective bargaining. The president believes collective bargaining works, especially when all sides come together in good faith, and that's what you saw. And this is a victory for them.
Now, the White House says the visit will highlight President Biden's commitment to delivering for working families and creating good-paying union jobs. The UAW has yet to endorse Biden for re-election. And we're taking a live look tonight from outside the Capitol building as the U.S. is now just 9 days away from a potential government shutdown. And so far, House Republicans do not have a concrete plan to keep things running. Speaker Mike Johnson and GOP lawmakers in the House went through a series of ideas yesterday that included a short-term spending bill through January 19th. However, if some Republicans in the House are against any sort of short-term spending bill, Johnson would need Democratic support, and that might be an uphill climb.
Many options that are on the table, and we'll be revealing what our plan is in short order.
They want to default on our debt, shut down the government, crash the economy, censure Democrats, and avoid holding their own members accountable. This is who they are.
Now, the House has until November 17th to reach a potential deal to avoid the shutdown.
Oh, here's a live look from our Eco Plumber Skycam over downtown Dayton tonight. If you step outside, it does not feel like November 8th at all.
It doesn't. It feels very nice. Got a little bit of a breeze out here. Close to a record today. Probably not surprising.
I believe it. I mean, even the breeze feels warm.
Right. It got up to 77 today. Record to beat was 80. Believe it or not, set back just a few years ago, back in 2020. We got up to 80 degrees. Still a very warm one for today. Had lots of 70s across the board and that nice warm breeze to go along with it. Now, reality returns tomorrow back into the 50s. Still not cold by any means, upper 50s Thursday, mid 50s Friday, and then it gets even cooler this weekend as our highs get back down into the lower 50s, which will be back slightly below normal for this time of the year, but it really doesn't stay that cool for too long. I'll have a look at our 7-day with the latest on that coming up in a bit.
After decades in the role, Springfield's mayor says today is the day to step down. Ahead, the reason for his resignation and the message for his city. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
We're following breaking news now out of Dayton. Live pictures from East 3rd Street. Firefighters there are fighting a house fire. You can see it's a very active scene still there. We spoke with officials with the Montgomery County Regional Dispatch.